Fourth grade into math, lesson 7.4. Solve multi-step multiplication and division problems. I can solve multi-step word problems involving multiplication, division, and interpretation of remainders. Step it out. Number 1. 4 classes participate in the first field day session. Each class has 21 students. They play in 3 teams with the same number of students on each team. How many students are on each team? Letter A. Think about the first step. How can you find the total number of students? Okay, so what are we going to do there? Let's pull our information first, right? So each class is 21 students, and then they play with 3 teams, right? And then we're trying to figure out how many students are on each team. So what can we do? Are we going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide to find the total number of students? It says total, so multiply, right? So we can multiply the number of students in each class by what? The number of classes. Letter B. Think about the second step. How can you find the number of students on each team? So that you would do what? Divide. Okay, so divide the total by the number, divide the total, which is the number of students, by 3, right? Okay, so draw a visual model and write an equation to represent each step. Okay, so we also forgot to circle that we had 4 classes, right, guys? Okay, so I can draw 4 boxes, and how many kids are in each class? What do we tell? What do we say? 21, right? So I would take what to find the total? 21 times 4. What's 4 times 1? 4. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So there's 84 total students, right? Okay, so now we have our total. We can draw another box that says the total of all the students was 84, right? Okay, now how many teams are they going to have? 3. So I'm going to break this into 3, which, if I did an equation, that would be what? 84 divided by 3. So how many times does 3 go into 8? 2 times. So 2 times 3 is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down the 4. How many times does 3 go into 24? 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24, and we have nothing left over. So 28 can go into each of those boxes. So how many students are on each team? 28 students. Stepping out number 2, Remy has 3 batches of photos from field day. Each batch has 19 photos. She puts 4 photos on each page of her album. How many pages does Remy use? Okay, so let's pull out our information. So she has 3 batches. Each one has 19 photos. And then she puts 4 photos on each page. And they want to know how many pages does Remy use. So think about the first step. Why can you multiply to find the total number of photos? So why would we multiply? Because we want to find the total, right? Does that get us a bigger number? Yes. If we divided, that would give us a smaller number. And would that be the total? No. Okay. Letter B. Think about the second step. Why would we divide to figure out how many pages she needs? Because you have the total, and she can put 4 on each page. So does that mean you need a bigger number or a smaller number? A smaller. So So that's why we would divide, right? Okay, so what would be our equation for the total number of photos?
19.
Or 3 times 19 equals n, right? For the total number. Okay, so if I took, which that equals, what is 19 times 3? So 3 times 9 is 27. So I'm going to put a 7 and carry my 2. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, so 57. So there's 57 total photos. Now how am I going to figure out the number of pages? What did we say? 57 divided by what? By 4. There's 4 on each page equals P. Okay, so now I need to do what? 57 divided by 4. So how many times does 4 go into 57? 1 time. Minus 4. 5 minus 4 is what? 1. Bring down the 7. How many times does 4 go into 17? 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16 with 1 left over. Do I have anything else to bring down? No. So my answer is 14, remainder 1. But how many total pages are they going to need to put all of those pictures in the book? 14. Well, if I do 14, am I going to leave a picture out? Yes, and we can't just leave that picture out. So we have to add one more, which would make it what? 15 to cover all of the pages. Check understanding number 1. There are 48 people going on a hike. Each pack of water has 8 bottles. How many packs are needed for each hiker to have 2 bottles? So we're going to use 48 people, and then the packs have 8 bottles. So this one, they want 2 per hiker, right? So what do I need to do first? I need to multiply. What am I multiplying? 48 times 2 equals what?
100.
So 2 times 8 is 16. Put a 6. Eventually carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So 96. Okay. And then, how many are in each pack?
2,
8, right? So now we're going to take 96 divided by 8, which gives us, so 96 divided by 8. 8 can go into 9 one time, minus 8 would be 1. Bring down our 6. 8 into 16 is twice, times 2 is 16. So 12. So 12 packs. But do we know our multiples up to 12? Yes, so we could have done a back family or an inverse operation and known that what times 8 got us 96, which would be 12, right? Okay. How can you check that your answer is reasonable? So 48 is almost what? 50. So you could have taken 50 times 2 and got what? 100, okay? And then 8 is almost what? 10. So could you take 100 divided by 10? And you get what? What is 100 divided by 10? It's 10. So is 10 about 12?
Yeah.
Yes. So does that make that a reasonable answer? Yes. Okay. On your own, number 2, attend to precision. A chef has 5 dozen eggs. How many 3-egg omelets can the chef make? So he has 5 dozen eggs, and then he wants to make 3-egg omelets, and they want to know how many he can make. So first of all, what am I going to do? I need to figure out how many eggs he has, right? Sophie has 5 dozen. How many are in a dozen? 12. So I'm going to take 5 times 12, which gives me what? 60. And then now I need to take 60 what?
60
divided by 3. I can put 6 in my box. How many times does 3 go into 6? 2 times and add a 0. So 20 omelets. Number 3, model and mathematics. Juan buys 10 bottles of juice for a party. Each bottle holds 24 fluid ounces. How many 6 fluid ounce glasses can Juan fill with the juice? Write equations to model and solve the problem. Use Z for the number of fluid ounces and G for the number of glasses. So we have 10 bottles. Each one holds 24 fluid ounces. And then he has 6 fluid ounce glasses, and they want to know how many he can fill. So my first equation, I need to figure out how many total ounces I have. So what am I going to do? 10 times what?
24.
His glasses are 6 fluid ounces. How much can he have in each bottle? 24 equals Z. So 10 times 24 equals what? 240. And this needs to look like a Z, guys, not a 2. Okay? So then he has 240 total ounces. And then how much can he put into each cup? 6 equals G for the glasses. Okay? So I'm going to take 240 divided by 6. What can I do? Put 24 in a box, and I get what? 4 with a 0. So 40 glasses. Number 4, the manager of the basketball league buys 96 practice jerseys for 6 teams. Each team has 8 players, and each player gets the same number of jerseys. How many practice jerseys does each player get? So there's 96 practice jerseys for 6 teams, and then there's 8 players on each team. How many practice jerseys does each player get? So we're going to figure out our stuff and then check it together. Okay, so we first had to figure out how many total players there were on all of the 6 teams, and we took 6 times 8 to get 48. And then we took the total number of jerseys, 96, divided by the 48 players. So that meant that 48 plus 48 gets you 96. So each player gets 2 jerseys. Number 5, 4 friends buy 3 packages of these erasers. They share their erasers equally among themselves and give any leftover erasers to their teacher. How many erasers do they give to their teacher? Okay, so first of all, we had to figure out how many total erasers they had. So we said we would take 3 times 18, which got us 54. And then we said we needed to divide those 54 erasers amongst 4 friends. So 54 divided by 4 got us 13, remainder 2. And then we decided we needed to use the remainder because they wanted to know how many leftover erasers they gave to the teacher. So 2 erasers would be our answer. All right, you guys can mark off number 9 for time management wise. We're going to do number 8 and go up. You guys are going to work it, then we'll go over it. And then you guys are going to do 6 and 7 with your partners. And then I will check them before you start on your homework on your own. Okay, so we pulled out our information, and then we decided that we would take 2 times 23, because that's how many total cars there were, was 46. And then we took 46 divided by 8, because that's how many could go on each shelf. And we got 5, remainder 6 as our answer. But we didn't want to leave any of the cars out, so therefore we had to have 6 shelves to be able to hold all of the model cars.